Welcome back to a special edition of The View from the End Zone on YSN Live. I'm Troy Davis, your host, and it may seem like Groundhog Day, but it's appropriate. It's in February, but we have another new head football coach for Louisville, and we want to send out, our prayers and concerns and appreciation for Coach Farino, who has just resigned from Louisville, and we wish him, the best in terms of his health and taking care of himself for what his needs are. Tonight, we have a new head football coach for the Louisville Leopards, and for me, it's a special thing because Coach Jake Adkins was a player for me at one point, coached with me several years, and I have a ton of respect for Coach Atkins. Sorry, Coach Atkins. But welcome to Louisville football. Congratulations on being the head football coach.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate it, and thanks for having me. And the first thing I want to say, first and foremost, my prayers and thoughts go out to Coach Farino. Just hope he recovers well from whatever he's battling. I could tell in the first minute that I talked to Coach Farino, just the type of guy he was, how much he cared about football, and more importantly, just cared about kids. So really want to make sure that's known. So prayers are out to Coach Farino.
Good guy for sure. We really enjoyed having him on the show and getting to know him. Quality person, and we definitely wish the best for him.
Absolutely, yes.
Coach, you've been around football a long time, and one of the things and sayings in football is when preparation meets opportunity, you got to go and you got to seize the moment. And this situation is preparation meets opportunity, and so you are prepared. And here's the opportunity to lead the Leopards, Coach. Just kind of give us a little bit about what's running through your mind right now.
Oh man, just a whirlwind of emotions. But I'm just so grateful for the opportunity at a place like this. So Louisville is a special place. It's home to me. This is where I was born and raised. Played through the program all the way from Little Leopards, all the way on up through varsity. And then now I've had the chance to coach at many different levels. So it's exciting. I know I have big shoes to fill, but I'm looking forward to the challenge for sure.
Coach, we want to use our show tonight to, I know you as a player. I know you as a coach. I know you as a human being. We want to get a chance for people out there to know a little more about you. They see you with a whistle. They see you calling plays. They see you doing football things with the kids, but now we want them to get to know you a little bit. And, going back in your playing history, let's start there. You were you went through the Little Leopard program. You were a Leopard on a really good football teams.
Yes.
And just tell us a little bit about growing up as a Leopard.
Yeah, growing up as a Leopard, I can remember going to football games with my parents, when I was 4 or 5 years old. And it was just something that you looked forward to every Friday night. And those memories of those old games that I've been to, they never go away. But then played Little Leopards, played for the Cowboys and the Lions. Then after Little Leopards, obviously moved up into freshman football. And just remember the guys that coached me starting there, guys like John Rill, who served our district for a very long time, guys like Matt Benson, Jeff Kudo, guys that still mean so much to me, that have given so much of themselves to Louisville. And then obviously coming through, I played for Coach Farah. And then you had mentioned, we had a lot of success. My sophomore year was 2007, and we were in the state championship game against Cincinnati Anderson. And then after sophomore season, we had some success. Junior and senior year, ended up making the playoffs. My junior year after that, we were in the regional finals. Had a rematch with Columbus DeSales from the prior year, and then went 10-0 my senior year. So had so much fun as a player, learned so much as a player playing here. And then I was blessed enough after high school to go play football at Notre Dame College. I played there for 4 years, played under a guy by the name of Adam Howard, played linebacker and a little bit of defensive end. So learned a lot more in college. The game's definitely quicker, a lot faster, bigger guys. So that's kind of my playing career in a nutshell right there.
So one thing I know you left out, just because I know your whole career too, is you suffered an ACL injury.
Yes.
In high school.
Yep.
And you suffered that more than one time. But I know that you suffered in high school, and one of the things I can remember about you is that you played through with a torn ACL.
Yes. Actually, I remember that day very vividly. It was a passing scrimmage. We were scrimmaging Massillon over there, and kind of a freak thing. I was running and hyperextended my knee and ended up tearing my ACL. And, a few weeks went by, and I wanted to play so bad. I wanted to be out there with my teammates. And luckily, we had a great trainer on staff, and I rehabbed it for about 4 weeks. And I was able to strengthen my leg enough with a knee brace to come back and play, and I was able to finish through the year. And I actually think we made it to the regional, so that would have been, I think, week 12 that year. So, yes, that was just appreciative of the training staff that was, able to help me do that. So.
Yeah, that's a great point. We'll get into that a little bit later about, you can attest to strength and fitness and the importance of that in rehab for a player or being prepared for a player. But that is no small task, what you did. And I know that the coaches at that time and your fellow players were extremely impressed, and you never used that as an excuse. You battled through that and played just as well as you were playing before,
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Back in the days of the eye black and coming out and playing, wrecking defense. I still have a T-shirt at home that has the 3 linebackers on it of the wrecking crew. I should have wore that tonight. But so, Coach, from that, today you're becoming the head football coach of the Louisville Leopards. Now what?
Yeah, it's a big responsibility. I know understand the stewardship that comes with this job. Just to keep the tradition alive and going. Like I mentioned earlier, Louisville is such a special place. It means so much to me. So really, I just want to, first thing I want to do is find the staff, for these kids and try to, start there so that we can end up putting the kids in the right position. I think you got to surround yourself with the right people. And I think here in Louisville, we definitely have a lot of good people. So.
Absolutely. So, Coach, I think we brushed over a little bit about your coaching experience. You've had a wealth of experience in coaching. I know you've been a defensive coordinator here. You've coached defensive backs. I think you coached linebackers at one point.
Yes.
You've coached freshman football. You've coached 8th grade football. Am I missing something?
I don't think so. Most of my time has been spent on the defensive side. But yeah, believe it or not, I really enjoy coaching defensive backs. Although I was a linebacker, but the main 2 areas that I've coached have been linebackers and defensive backs. So yes.
So you definitely bring in defense. You were a heck of a running back. Had it not been for the ACL injury, you'd have probably been one of these legendary running backs for Louisville. But so you do have some offensive perspective, and you definitely spent a lot of time on the offensive side. But coaching wise, has been mainly defense.
Yes. Yep.
All right. And what excites you about Leopard football and Leopard defense?
Man, when I think Leopard defense, I just think an attacking style defense. One that puts pressure on the decision maker on the other side. Pressure in the face of the quarterback, good tacklers, physicality, and just running to the football. I think that's one of the things that Coach Kappas really emphasized and got this group to be where they're at is just effort, running to the football. And to me, effort's something that you can control, and I think that's the big part of defense. And I think, getting the kids to buy into that is what's made Louisville defense a special thing over the years.
Yeah. And I know you're a fan of that team that I don't like, that black and gold team. I'm more a fan of the orange and brown team, but I know the defense you're talking about is the kind of defense they play.
Yes, absolutely. Yep. And at the end of the day, we want kids to have fun. Football is supposed to be fun. So, when you're doing those things and you're flying around and doing it with your buddies, I mean, what's more fun than that? So, keep the main thing the main thing. Go have fun. Go let loose and have fun. So
absolutely, Coach. In terms of the taking over the program. Talk about some of the excitement about that and the fact that you're going to be from player to coach to head coach, and just, you know, lay that excitement, express some of that to us.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's been a whirlwind, and you know, it's sometimes I think I have to pinch myself, you know, just to believe it. But no, I'm so blessed. I'm so thankful to be in this position. And the kids that we have here at Louisville are just amazing. I think that's what the excitement comes around, is the kids. That's what it's all about. I think it's a passionate group of kids. They're eager to work. They're eager to learn. And I just really look forward to working with them throughout the whole process. I can't wait to get going. So.
Well, and I know part of getting going will be strength and fitness. Mm-hmm. And you were no stranger to the weight room. Mm-hmm. Tell us a little bit about that. You know, what you look forward to. And I know you know Quaz real well. So what are you looking forward to in strength and fitness prep?
Yeah, sure. You know, Coach Kwasnicka does an outstanding job with the weight room right now. And the one thing I noticed with Quaz is those kids buy into him, and I think that's the most important thing. Coach Kwasnicka is able to create a relationship with each and every student athlete, and I think that's the difference. But you know, you hear it all the time. You know, champions are made in the off season, and you know, a big part of the off season is getting bigger and stronger. So I think, you know, what the kids are doing now, you know, can't be overlooked, because it's so important in preparing your body to play a whole football season. So really enjoy being in there, seeing them work hard. Like I said, Coach Quaz does an outstanding job. So have a lot of faith and confidence in him. So.
Yeah. Plus you played with him, right?
Yes. Yeah. He used to beat up on me when I was on the scout team. When Coach Kwasnicka was a senior, I was a sophomore. So
I do remember you being on the scout team and being the running back.
Yes.
That defense.
Yes. Yeah. State championship defense.
Yeah.
So.
Which was a big, you know, a big debt to you too, because you ran the ball every day against that defense.
Yes.
And really tested them.
Yep. And I think it's important, you know, because, you know, it was one of those things where I was a sophomore at the time, and, you know, we had such a good team that, you know, just understanding what my role was during that time, you know, I believed helped our team win. So, you know, understanding what your job is, you know, whether that's in practice or in the game, is so important. And that's definitely a lesson that I learned firsthand, you know, being a young sophomore.
Right, and a lot of those practices were more difficult than some of our games.
100%. Yes.
You know, we were battling and fighting for yards in practice.
Yes.
Back on the grass field.
Yep.
And yeah, tough.
Oh yeah.
Coach, I know you're a big character guy. You've got excellent character. Everybody that knows you knows that. Now, how do you blend that into your head coaching, you know, and your team as you move forward?
Yeah, I think you know, it's got to be a part of your culture. You know, you want people that have high character. You know, we tell the kids all the time, you know, you're not only everything you do is not only a representation of yourself, but you're representing your family. You know, you're representing your school. You know, so I think Coach Kappas has done an outstanding job just ingraining in the team that we have the culture, the Code Blue culture. And one of those things is integrity and high character. And it's something that we really look for in our players, because we know if they have that, we can count on them on the field. So.
Yeah, and I know you were part of the staff that was helping to develop that kind of thing, and
for sure,
and holding kids accountable to those kind of things. So we look forward to the same kind of thing, you know, with your flair on it, right?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, just want to continue the hard work that Coach Kappas has done, and to continue to grow, and just, you know, allowing kids to serve others. I think that's, you know, one of the good things about having high character is you're willing to go do things for other people, and I think. You know, when kids can understand that, you know, they get more fulfillment out of their life. And that's, at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. So.
And Coach, you don't have to mention specific players, and I'd rather you not even have to do that. But as you look at this roster, it's a roster last year that, you know, made it to the playoffs and played a really good game and came down the last second where they almost moved on.
Right.
You're inheriting that group of players. It was a young team.
Yeah.
You know, talk a little bit about that, inheriting these players and the hunger that they have, and how exciting that is.
Yeah, I think anytime you can play in a playoff game like that, it does so much for the confidence of the kids. knowing that, they've been in that situation before. But, you're right. We came up short in that game. Thought we played extremely hard against a really good opponent. But I think that is only going to motivate them, and hopefully that will keep them hungry, to get back to that point and then try to move past that point, But yeah, I think just the confidence boost that it can do for them, and knowing what that felt like, to be in a playoff game, it is just so special. So I look forward to a lot of those kids that played in that game to kind of, pass that down, that love for the playoff type atmosphere to those younger kids, because, if we can keep ingraining that in our younger kids and get them to understand that the expectation is getting to the playoffs, and winning playoff games, then I think we're moving in the right direction.
Yeah, and anything's possible. The year we went to the state finals, we were 5-5 the year before.
Yes.
And,
yes.
you just, it can click.
Yes.
It can click at any time.
For sure.
And it's, again,
yes.
when preparation meets opportunity.
Yes, no doubt.
And so
no
continue to prepare. Coach, you're no stranger to, all of the Louisville parts of football. But maybe let you touch a little bit about Little Leopards and the Touchdown Club and just community involvement.
Yeah. Louisville is such a great place for all the things you just mentioned football-wise. The youth football program in Little Leopards has been around for a very long time. I know my grandfather was a coach for Little Leopards for many, many years. And I think that's where it starts. We got to be able to invest in our youth in terms of coaches and providing the things that they need to be successful and to keep those kids wanting to play. So kind of building it from the ground up. And we have some great coaches in Little Leopards. I really respect what they do, giving up their time and their dedication to those kids. And then obviously the Touchdown Club, that just shows how much people care about football here and how much they're willing to do for our football program. So I'm just so thankful and appreciative of that. And I'm looking forward to working hand in hand with those Little Leopard coaches, the Touchdown Club, and just getting everybody on board and moving in the same direction.
Absolutely.
Really looking forward to that.
So we touched a little bit about this, and we'll kind of close out with it. But your first 30 days of coaching, you already alluded to the fact that you're looking for the right people for your staff. Tell us a little bit about what else in your first 30 days you're looking towards.
Yeah, I think just being around the kids as much as possible. I think that's going to be high on my list, especially in the weight room like we talked about. And I think, you get people to buy in by relationships. So, I think just creating a personal relationship with each and every player the best that I can. Right now, being around them in the weight room, talking to them, about their academics, about football, about anything. Coach Rill used to say, I love this quote. He used to say, kids don't care how much you know till they know how much you care. Right. And I think that is just spot on. So I would say just building rapport and relationships with the kids is something that, I want to get right to.
That's a great answer, Coach. You're right about that. Relationships make bonds and push people to do things to the best of their abilities.
Sure.
And I know that. I know coaching with you and as a player, you're strong into that. And
Thank you.
True to your word.
Thank you.
All right. Well, Coach, we thank you for joining us tonight.
Thanks for having me.
Fantastic. We're excited to see what you're going to do with the Louisville Leopards. We know that you will put in 110%, if not more, to this program. And we know that your heart bleeds blue. We've seen it on the field. We've seen it in the coaching. And people that know you know that's who you are. We thank you also for joining us tonight on YSN Live, welcoming our new head football coach to the Louisville Leopards, Jake Adkins. Thank you and good night.